Welcome to the Psychotic King AJ channel, where we are doing a King's Roundtable. That's Joey. I'm AJ. His name is Jer. He doesn't know what he's doing here. He's crazy, and I'm just psychotic. Today we're doing an episode called Bad Press. This episode focuses on, can you actually like a artist, being musician, actor, whatever, even if they receive bad media exposure for something they did wrong?
Let's find out. Do you still like the round table without the artist?
I'm questioning it now.
Raffle stop.
I mean, okay. I feel like one of the more recent examples of this would probably be Michael Jackson. Because they've been dragging him through the mud, even though he's dead, for child abuse and being a pedophile, of which they still don't have any proof. But people are...
We're not here to solve court cases.
Exactly. But I mean, the man has contributed so much to not just music, but music culture, that I think if you erase what he's done based on what he's accused of, I mean, you take a very large chunk out of music culture. I mean, the man changed...
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Well, he changed the way that we look at music videos and what music videos can be. He changed the way that we think about how dance relates to music. And he defined the sound of pop music.
I mean, in all honesty, take it for what you will, whether you find him guilty or not. Personal opinions aside, I think MJ is the king of pop. He is. You can't discredit a man's entire career for things he's done. Now, mind you, some circumstances, certain circumstances, you kind of want to, but
yeah.
I mean, well, it's not even that though. I mean, like, whether MJ did it or not, does that discredit his life's work?
No.
Does that discredit Thriller?
It doesn't discredit what he's done. The question then just becomes of the individual rather than the career.
Can you separate the two?
Again, this is speaking for myself. As a musician, I can make that distinction in my own mind, because when I listen to his music, I'm not listening to Michael Jackson the person. I'm listening to Michael Jackson the performer. If that makes any sense.
Now, here's one for you. Another musician, really bad press. Again, someone we're talking posthumously about. Amy Winehouse, who received a lot of bad press because she literally wrote and produced a song about her refusal to seek help, rehab,
yeah,
and it ended up with cocaine overdose.
Yeah.
Now, looking at that, same thing. Now we've literally built into her impact on music exactly why she was in the bad press for the drugs.
Comics for this.
Oh no, here we go.
What's her impact on music though? Like,
she was...
Personally, I don't find anything Amy Winehouse did uprising. I don't find any of it. Sure, you can like it, and I'm not going to say you're wrong for liking it. It's not, none of it really made an impact. Like, how long was she an artist for?
Not very long.
Exactly.
She was an artist for, I want to say 5 or 6 years.
And she had a couple catchy songs. I'm not discrediting her for that because she died of a cocaine overdose. But I mean, let's be real here. When you're talking about it, right, you're not discrediting her because she's dead and she had a cocaine overdose. And, let's pit her up against Whitney Houston. Right? Same death kind of scenario.
And same subject matter from a songwriting standpoint, closer to the end of Whitney's career as well.
But Whitney's career
Was decades long.
And she made impacts. So, I mean, bad press aside, are you a fan of Whitney Houston?
Oh, of course.
Bad press aside, are you a fan of Amy Winehouse?
Of course.
See, bad press aside, I'm not a fan of Amy Winehouse. And in that circumstance, it didn't matter what the press said. She could have been the greatest person in the world. She could have been Mother Teresa. It just, her music didn't impact me. There was nothing that would have changed my mind about that. I'm going to bring it up. I know it's going to be a touchy subject, but R. Kelly. Oh. So, awkward pauses are aside here. R. Kelly has obviously been in the news quite a bit. He's got quite a bit of evidence against him. So, I think by this point, anybody and everybody should realize that R. Kelly is guilty.
Yes.
I mean, there's plethora of video evidence of the actions he's being accused of. I'm not even going in detail about what he's accused of. But, like, they have it on video of him doing it. He's guilty. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it this time.
Yeah.
The first time he got away because the warrant wasn't for what they were searching for, or the warrant wasn't for what they found, so none of that could be admissible in court as evidence, so he got it off. This time, they knew what they were looking for, and they got it. Now, does that discredit all his music?
No. I'm not a fan of R. Kelly, but it has nothing to do with him as a person. It has more to do with his brand of music. I'm not big on like slow R&B
the R&B
stuff.
jams.
Yeah.
Okay. So me personally, I love R. Kelly. I mean, Trapped in the Closet was great. His older stuff that was slow jams was good. It's awkward because like now you're like, all right, so you were a pervert, but now you're really a pervert type thing. Like, so that's kind of awkward. But I mean, I tend to not think about that.
I think the problem is it's not so much that it discredits the work they've done as it creates a stigma around the work they've done.
But
because
so we've got R. Kelly who makes music of, let's be real and let's call it what it is, sexual nature.
Yeah.
He makes music of sexual nature and he's come down with sexual charges.
Yes.
We have Kevin Spacey on the other hand, who, although he's been acquitted of all charges now, was accused of sexual charges, but he's an actor and he's never really like portrayed like they never crossed. There was no evidence of any sexual stuff in the stuff he acted.
Right.
So,
what? American Beauty.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, yes, but
all right. But I mean, it's honestly the most difficult one I think is if you have a comedian that's getting bad press, like somebody like Louis C.K., who I think he's an absolute riot. I love his brand of comedy.
His bad press was poor though. I don't understand. So, do you know who Louis C.K. is?
Yes, I know who he is.
Do you know what his bad press was about?
Nope.
He made a motion of jerking off in front of a woman in the crowd. Louis C.K., whose brand of comedy, this is, like...
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really going to throw an absolute wrench in this. And I'm not talking like a little wrench. I'm talking a big old industrial, we're working out on the pipelines wrench. Hulk Hogan. The rant and the sex tape. Bad publicity.
Okay, so I was all for the expulsion of him in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
For the rant.
Yes.
The sex tape, no. The sex tape didn't affect me at all. I had no I don't care what you do on your personal time. I don't care if you're Sylvester Stallone acting in whatever Iron Stallion or whatever movie he first did. I don't care. I don't care that Hulk Hogan, was indulging in adult activities and he recorded it and it got leaked to the internet. That doesn't affect me. I'm still a firm believer that China should be in the Hall of Fame on her own.
Yeah, she should.
So,
which is where I was going to take that next for you.
Having adult content and stuff like that, to me, adult content isn't bad press.
Well, to grab a wrench even bigger, Chris Benoit.
See, and I don't want to open that bag of worms because in my firm belief, Chris Benoit did not do that because Chris Benoit openly stated a million times that he hated weapons, so why is all of a sudden he's got a gun? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Something is not right there. So that whole situation makes me mad. I think the cops fumbled way too much and they screwed that whole thing over, and I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is the why Hulk Hogan and what makes me feel that his bad press was too much. Was because you're talking about sports entertainment. You're talking about a company who now just recently crowned their first African American champion with their head title.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's been heavyweight champions that were African American, but there had never been a WWE champion other than The Rock, who's mixed.
I was gonna say, wasn't The Rock more prominent for Samoan blood?
He was always adamant about both. He was always adamant about having both, but Kofi Kingston is your first real, and they've been around for 70, 80 years, or whatever.
Well, if we're counting what Vince Sr. did, then yeah, it's been a good 70 years.
So, for Hulk Hogan, who's supposed to still be one of the main faces of this company and one of the big guys in this company, to make those racial slurs, even in the context he made them, which I don't want to get into, it's bad. You can't do that when you're part of a company. Now, bad press aside, it's more of the face of a company doing something that's against what the company stands for. Do I discredit him as a wrestler? Yes, I discredit him as a wrestler. I discredit for all the wrestling he did. Why? Because I don't like Hulk Hogan as a wrestler. I don't think he was entertaining in matches, really. And, I mean, you can roast me in the comments all you want, but that's my opinion. The leg drop was never a great signature.
No.
It just, like, he was not. And per era, sure, golden era wrestling, he was perfect. He fit in. But you got to remember where we grew up, it's a different style. It's a whole different ballgame where we grew up and what we were watching. So, Hulk Hogan, I'm sorry, but I just don't see you as an amazing wrestler.
Well, there was a friend of mine who was at the 30th anniversary show of Raw, where he came out at the end. Yeah. And it was the big, and I guess it didn't come across on TV, but in the arena live, the reaction was very mixed and very awkward. Because there were people who wanted to cheer for him, but they were like, don't know.
And we're in an era that's kind of what we're doing. I bring it back to Kevin Spacey. I love Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
I was furious when he got disballed from House of Cards. Why? There's not even... And this is our culture now in today's age. When it comes to things of sexual nature, it is always guilty until proven innocent. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's innocent until proven guilty. So, when you're taking Kevin Spacey, and now we've realized that the guy came out and he was lying and it's been fabricated and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Kevin Spacey's lost a lot of his PR, his press. This is a man who did K-Pax, which they took off Netflix. They took all the stuff he appeared in off Netflix because of this court case.
Yeah.
So, bad press hurts the person on a marketing level, but in my opinion, it shouldn't. And that's where I stand. Can you like an artist even though they receive bad press? Yes, you can. I mean, you can like Hulk Hogan even though he said those words.
We'll throw well, I can't even call this a wrench anymore. We'll throw a country into the mix. He is his own bad press and requires no introduction.
Trump?
There you go.
So So Trump is president. Let's be real here. The first thing that came up when Trump got presidency was him taking away all this money from Planned Parenthood. And then all the media's chastising him about it. And they're like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. He hates this, he hates this, he's against this, he's against this. And then Trump's an idiot. He makes a Twitter post about it, making him look bad.
Which is why I said he's his own bad press.
But then you look at the history, and you look at the conservative versus the, help me out, what's the other party?
You mean Republic versus Democrat?
The Republicans. You look at the Republicans versus the Democrats. Trump did not take any more money away from Planned Parenthood than any other Republican has in the past 30 years. Republicans always take money from Planned Parenthood because Republicans never see it as a organization that needs that much money. And it has nothing to do with Trump not liking abortions or Trump being anti-gay and anti-abortions. It has simply to do with his party always does that.
Which leads us to a final point then of the problem isn't the individuals. Obviously, there are some that literally have problems. We've touched on a couple of them. There's bad press, but the problem is the press itself. We're not making sure we're getting all the facts. We're jumping to conclusions. We're making decisions without actually knowing what's going on. And we're putting out half press that's half made up because we don't know what's going on. The age of social media is literally destroying so much because we can't stop to wait and find out the truth. Because we have to put our own opinion out.
Well, yeah, because something happens and immediately you have thousands of people who have already come to a conclusion in their head. They throw it out on social media. And then the people who are actually reporting on these things go, well, I don't know exactly what's going on, but let me check Facebook and Twitter and see what everyone else is talking about.
So this is our promise to you guys, is one of the things that we are very, very keen on here is our intelligence level. We are three really intelligent people, and we will never come to you with half-assed facts. We're not going to come to you and say Trump's the worst president the United States has ever had, because we all know for a fact that's not exactly true. We're not going to say he's the best president they've ever had, because we all know that's not factually true.
I was going to say, that's certainly not true.
And it's the same with our own government and everything, us as the round table. We're not basing our opinions off half facts or media outposts. We don't get our information from Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Twitter, tweets, twats, Twitter flowers, social media.
Relying on social media for us is about on par as relying on Wikipedia when you're in school.
Yeah.
If it's not about a person, it's probably a load of crock. And I'm going to tell you that right now. We come from a town where our Wikipedia page for our town listed us as like a great mining community for a year and a half. and there ain't no mine anywhere near our hometown.
No, there's
we had some of the weirdest things on Wikipedia because
there was no fact check.
Some of it was me, probably. Maybe some of it was him, and other trolls that we went to school with, friends and stuff. We like to be funny and make stuff up. Three boys from the town that created peanut butter. Keep it psycho. I'm AJ.
Live long and rock on. I'm Joey.
And of course, that's getting a big, big Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I'm Jer.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you could, please tell me where peanut butter was really invented so I can change our Wikipedia page.